Is it evening? It's evening.
It's dark outside.
It's evening.
Yeah, it's
Good
dark outside.
evening and hello and welcome. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Salam.
Welcome to Through Deep Waters, the Young Nations podcast. Today is our 6th episode.
Why are you acting like you're unsure? We already agreed.
No, 5 was Ben and Josh. This is
Yeah,
our 6th episode.
So this is 6, yeah.
Okay.
We're recording this, like, the time of recording is when episode 3 just came out.
Yeah,
So-
Episode 3.
Yeah, shout out Isabella, episode 3.
Episode 4 to be released in 2 days. So it's Sunday, the 12th of December.
Okay, yeah. So we're trying to get ahead a little bit with the episodes, trying to stack up as many as we can, just to make sure that, like in case something happens that we can't record 1 week or 2 weeks, we have stuff in the bank.
Yes, sir.
Basically.
So how's your week been?
My week's
What's
been
going
tough.
on? Tell me.
So-
What'd you do?
It's been just tiring, like, essentially, I'm what you call a co-op student, so I'm not just a uni student. I also, like, part of my semesters is work. So, for example, I go from a semester of uni to a semester of just work, and I have to go find a job, and I have in my field and stuff. So I'm in that now, and I'm working at a municipality. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, because it's the last week. I think it's my last week next week, so I have to just finalize, figure out how I'm gonna get everything finished up. Some final tasks that I had to finish, like a lot of the responsibilities that I had to take care of. So it's just been that, like, figuring that out in a way, and like, just trying to get through that. And then haven't had much sleep this week, just because, like, the house has been quite noisy,
We can talk about this.
I don't know. I feel bad because it's
No,
not his
it's
fault.
nothing- yeah,
It's
okay,
not,
so-
so my roommate has a cough, and it's not his fault.
But it's
And
an intense cough. Like
it's-
he's in the room over there. I'm all the way over there. And if I don't have my earplugs in, I cannot sleep either, And poor guys,
It's not his fault. Like, if he's watching this, Hassan, like, get better soon. Like,
No,
more
of
support
course,
to you.
of course.
It's not
It's
your
just-
fault, but it's just.
it's just unfortunate. But Zayd came into my room at 4 or 5 a.m. the other day. He was like, Hassan, give me earplugs. I was like, okay, why?
Hassan is notorious for having earplugs because he's a light sleeper, so he uses them a lot.
So I give him my earplugs. I'm like, why? He was like, Hassan, I've been sleeping on the couch over there. I was like, why? He was like, because of the cough. I was like, is that bad? And I took my earplugs out for like 2 minutes and I just hear, and it's one of those coughs that's just like, how a normal cough's like,
No, this one's like an earthquake.
Yeah.
It's like it shakes the room.
People in the other apartment have been waking up for this
Yeah.
cough.
I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully it's past now. Hopefully we're
Yeah,
sleeping
get better.
better now.
Hassan, it's not your fault. I feel bad because he saw me sleeping on the couch and he felt so bad, and I feel horrible.
It's no issue. It's
It's
not.
not-
Wow,
it's not your fault. It's just like, so now, like, it's just like one of many things that's like, okay, now the week is a
It
little
happens,
bit challenging
yeah.
because I haven't been sleeping that much. But regardless, we're okay. I think he's okay. He's coming back just now as soon as we finish this episode. So, should be good. Yeah. Other than that, just gym, basketball here and there when we can.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, how about you? How's your week?
My week has been tough.
Actually, talk about your week. Let's see.
So today is Sunday, right?
Okay.
So I've been having, it's end of semester. I'm not on co-op. I'm studying. So like it's final season, assignments, this and that. Like submissions everywhere, training, work.
What do you train? Like, I don't think they know.
So I wouldn't say I'm in camp because I'm not. But I'm so I run as much as I can. I try to do 2 to 3 boxing sessions a week. I play either basketball or football almost every day. But I realize now I'm overtraining. I'm getting, I don't know if you know what shin splints are. It's like when every step you take, your shins are hurting, like the muscle, like behind the shin.
Used to get them along when we used to play football as kids.
Yeah. So that's happening now. So I have to calm down. But yeah, it's all like in the spirit of getting back in shape. But anyways,
How's your knee?
my knee's great, alhamdulillah. But yeah, so I have this big ass submission on Wednesday, and I work all day to get it done. I get it done at 6 p.m. 5 minutes after pressing submit, I get this blinding pain in my tooth.
It was horrible.
and here's where I kind of shot myself in the foot. So I spent a good 4 hours just almost trying to rip my hair out. I was in so much pain. I was just walking around. Did remember I was walking around the whole night, and then I wake up the next day and I go to the dentist. And by luck, by the way, there's no walk-ins at the dentist. If you have a dental emergency here in Canada, best of luck to you, because you're not getting anything done for a week. I got my root canal yesterday, Saturday. The pain happened on Wednesday, and it's been consistent from Wednesday till Saturday. I had to beg for my root canal.
Yeah.
When I so okay,
And
anyways.
more than that, like it took a doctor taking it outside his shift.
Yeah, like okay. So I went to the dentist, and by luck they were like, so I went Thursday morning. By luck they were like, oh yeah, someone just canceled. We can see you. So they see me, and here's how smart I am. They want to do an X-ray on my tooth. I'm in so much pain. I don't know what tooth hurts. It just hurts. So I gave them the wrong tooth. So they did the X-ray. They're like, yo, I don't understand. This, you look fine.
Okay.
Just go home. You take this painkiller, amoxicillin, whatever. So I went home. The pain never stopped. I called like 4 or 5 different dentists. I went to an appointment. As I get to my appointment, the place is locked, and they tell me come to this other city, to our other branch. So I was like, okay, no, I'm not gonna do that. So I went to this other place, Bridgeport Family Dental Care. Shout out. So I went there and
you do a gun sign.
Huh?
Shout out and do a
shout
gun
out.
sign.
Yeah. Shout out. Anyways,
That's the okay.
we
Anyway.
so we get there at like 11, and they're like, okay, we can't do any treatment because of this and this, but here's the problem: you need the root canal. And I was like, okay, no, we're doing treatment. I'm dying. And then the doctor says, oh, okay, let's do it by Monday. I was like, sir, Monday I'm not gonna be alive. So he was like, okay, you know what? I get off work at 1. Let me do it at 1. So he did it at 1. Bless him.
Yeah, that's
Alhamdulillah.
like after he got off work. So mashallah, yani
So
more
yeah,
prayers to
he was
him.
like, I was planning to go home early, whatever, but like I'll do your root canal. You know, I'm very thankful. Now we're pain free. I had pizza yesterday and I didn't feel any pain, so I'm feeling good. And now we're here, we're recording, and I don't know. There's a lot to talk about today. One thing. So I've been working like an entry level job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now like this thing has like started getting on my mind of like, what am I gonna? I'm very undecided on what I'm gonna do straight after graduation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, am I gonna do masters? Am I gonna? What field of work do I want to work in? I have my end goal, but I don't have the in between, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of that is just based on the fact that like somewhere along the way, I kind of got lost in what I want to do.
Okay.
And there's a lot of that, like, that's something I really, really want to talk about because I have a lot to say about this. So
what's like the theme of what do you want to like? What's bothering you? What do you want?
like, I don't know what I'm going to do career-wise. Like my career path, I've got, like, it's not built. The road is not built. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't, like, okay, I'm going to get this degree. I'm going to graduate. Do I want to work in this field? Do I want to work in another field? Do I just want to save money? My end goal is to have an academy of a certain sport, right? Be it boxing or football, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or soccer. But what am I gonna do to make that? What am I gonna do to make that money so that I can start this academy, right? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So and I also want to talk about why my end goal is to have that academy. But
Okay.
we'll start from the beginning. First and foremost, I'm an athlete who, you know, those like people that are 40 that you talk to and they're like, oh, I was so good back in the day and then I hurt my knee.
Yeah.
I'm basically one of those.
Basically.
But basically, I never had the resources that I needed or felt supported in the sense that, like, if I wanted to pursue, say, a football career, that could have happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And there's so much around that. Let me ask you, so because you study planning.
Yeah.
You want to be a planner. You're very, do I say content or happy?
I'm happy with it.
You're happy.
Yeah, I'm
you
happy.
want to be a planner.
Yeah.
Is there anything else in life that you would have wanted to be?
No. Honestly, like I'm good where I am.
Honestly?
I'm good where I am.
I'm glad you feel that way.
I'm good. Like everybody has those childish passions, right? Like, oh, I want to be a football player, basketball player.
And
Some
no.
people-
That is where the problem lies.
No.
This is where the problem lies.
Hold on. For some people, it's a realistic goal, right? For you, it might have been a realistic goal. I was never gonna be a football player or a basketball player or whatever kind
You
of.
say that.
No, I said I was a fat kid. Excuse me. I was an overweight kid. You know, I was never gonna be like a football player. I go on the field and get tired in 30 seconds. You know, like certain things. Like I just knew it was kind of a dream, but I also knew what was going on. So I just chose like an academic based thing, and I was like, obviously, I didn't always know what I wanted to do, but now that I'm here, like I'm good. You know.
Alhamdulillah. But
Alhamdulillah.
there's one thing you said.
Mm-hmm.
One word There's
What?
one word you said
What did I say?
that I have a problem with.
Which
And this is exactly why I'm studying arts and business, speech communication, and I don't know what I'm going to do with my life, right? Childish. You said childish dream. And you didn't mean it as childish dream, but that is the cultural stigma around having a dream of being an athlete. I'll give you an example, and shout out to our cousin Hussein.
Makes sense. Yeah, shout out
Because
Hussein.
he did something that's really brave, and I know he got a lot of backlash for this.
Big him up, Lo. Hussein is
Hussein he's studying film studies. if
film
I'm not
studies
mistaken.
at Seneca. Seneca's the one in Oakville, I think. I don't know.
Seneca.
Seneca College.
No, he's in a.
No, he's in.
Where is he?
He's in.
He's not in Seneca.
He's in Seneca. Like, it
Actually-
doesn't matter anyway. He's in a college.
He's in a good. No, Sheridan. What's wrong with
Sheridan.
Seneca.
I don't
you?
know.
What is Seneca? I've never heard of Seneca.
It's another
He's
college.
in Sheridan College.
Sheridan.
But yeah, point is, he pursued his passion. No matter who told him you shouldn't do this, you're not gonna make it, whatever.
And he
he's doing
heard
it.
a lot of those voices.
A lot of
There was
people.
a lot. Like, I feel bad for him. I think in 12th grade, because here they do grade, right? In 12th grade, he had like an existential crisis where it was like, oh, I don't know what I want to be. My people keep telling me my passion is wrong and stuff, and it was like from everywhere. And it's like no one believed in you because it's not a conventional quote unquote career.
And thing is, he's so committed, and he's talented too.
You've
You
seen
know?
his short films. Listen, yeah, link in the description. Check my cousin's short films. We're gonna put the link in the description for his pages and stuff. Go look at them. They're really nice.
But yeah, we digress a little bit. But the point is, like, you really don't see that often anymore, and you don't see like there's so much need to be normal. And if we're all normal, then who's extraordinary? And if we're all normal, who's gonna be innovative? Who's gonna come up with the new big thing? Who's gonna be excellent? Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Because now the way that the world works, you're born, you go to school, you study, get your education, get your university degree, work. But what if you're excellent at something? Do you listen to friend X and friend Y who say you're never gonna make it, don't do it, just go to school?
Look, I feel like there's that. Like, it's important to have motivation, but also have to have a calculated way of it. Like, a lot of people, they fall in the trap of, oh, let me dream, but let me not do anything
Absolutely.
else. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, you also have to have, let's say, for example, you have your dream, but then you have a backup plan, and you have like, so if you're gonna
Be realistic about it.
not realistic, no, dream, but have a plan with your dream. Have a plan, have a backup plan, because it's already like, because it's outside the conventional path, it's already like kind of reaching against the odds in a way. And as much as we're not saying don't pursue your dreams, like, do it, but also be like, okay, failure is not an option, but just in case, I'm gonna have something behind, like,
Okay,
tucked
but let
away.
me ask you something.
Tell me.
And I understand this is a special case. This individual is an exception because X, Y, Z. But did Ronaldo have a backup plan? No. Did Messi have a backup plan? No. Okay, let's take it down a notch. Did the average football player who made it as a football player have a backup plan? No.
But it also depends like where you come from. Because in a lot of places where people come from, they don't have much more opportunities. Even their academic opportunities are not crazy. Their business opportunities are not crazy because of the background and the place
But
that they come from.
I don't completely agree. Let's talk about the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the UK. In the UK, the way you become a pro is like while you're in school, you also join a football academy, right? You try out for a football academy. Say it's like Manchester United or City or wherever, right?
Okay.
From like 8, 9 years old, you're in their academy. You've committed since 8, 9 years old.
Yeah.
When you're 8, 9 years
But
old playing for
how many-
Manchester
how
United
many people-
Academy, when you're 8, 9 years old playing for Manchester United Academy, do you have that plan of I'm gonna go to university? No.
Fair enough. Maybe like I'm thinking of it more also in like if you flip it to American side. And the American side, they make you do a year of college at least before you go MBA. They make you sit and study for a year, and like some students they choose to continue and finish their degree and then go. Some students they choose to do 1 or 2 years and then go. Like there's that flexibility. So let's say for example after your first year, you're like okay I'm gonna be able to with my current reputation whatever prospects I can get into the league. Then you go because you know you're getting in the league, and like even 1 year in the league, like the lowest paid players in the league they earn what, like 500k. You know how much money 500k is for a normal person, like, so it's not a big deal like that. For football, yeah, I kind of see it, but like what I'm saying is like I think it's important to be like to chase the dream. But maybe that's just me, because I think I'm meticulous.
You're an avid planner too.
Yeah, I'm meticulous. I like a bit like my planning. I like to make sure that like in anything in any avenue I go in life, I'm like, okay, if this doesn't work, I have to go here, then I have to go here, then I have to go here. And
I get that, but on the contrary, I live by the whole: if you want something, you reach out and you do whatever you can to get it. And if you're even in the slightest focusing on what if I don't get it, then it's not worth it for you. You know.
no, I disagree. Anyway, but like
Point being, now I'm in the predicament that I'm in, right? But if we were to go back about 6, 7 years, 9 years, 9 years.
why would you call it a predicament though? I don't think it's a predicament. I think just things turned out the way they did.
And here's the thing: I don't live in any regret, and we're gonna get to why later. I don't live in any regret. I think, the way that things have turned out for me is gonna set me up to change the world in XYZ aspects, in my personal opinion.
That's your aspiration.
That's
your
my
goal,
aspiration. But if you were to go back 8, 9 years, right, and put me in a football academy, I was pretty good. I would say I was better than pretty good. But then I couldn't play. In where we grew up, there wasn't a lot of opportunity to play besides like playing with like 4 or 5 other friends in the park, you know?
Yeah.
But like I'm talking high level controlled football. Like there was none of that unless you wanted to pay the big bucks.
Big money. Like
And it's not cheap.
hard for families to afford to send their, like it becomes a premium to then chase your dream, you know?
And bear in mind, school is not cheap where we grew up too either.
Like, okay,
So to pay for school, to pay for that, the rides there, rides back, you know, it's not something that's possible all the time.
Because in Canada, it's like, football academy, they scout you. They want you on their academy. Buses to school, school is free. Healthcare is free. Buses to and from school are free. You don't have to worry about transportation. You don't have to worry about there's so many expenses that you had to think about with chasing that people here maybe, or in different countries, Western countries, they may not have to think about.
Whereas back where we grew up, you have to put all of that into consideration. You're paying this much money on the essentials. Now, because you're spending all that on the essentials, things like playing football, it just becomes a luxury, you know?
That's why it gets looked at that way, because
exactly,
it's a lack of opportunity.
I would never have been able to become a football player if I didn't go to a football academy and play those football games. If you put me on an 11-a-side high-level football pitch right now, I'm not doing anything. I don't know how to... Okay, I'm not going to say I'm not doing anything.
No, but you're not... Is that because your abilities haven't developed like that, or is it because you're not at maximum fitness yet?
It's no. Even if I was at maximum fitness, I think I'm good. I think I'm decent. But it's not. How do I say? You have to have experience from a young age to play a high level of football. If I'm playing with my friends, okay, yeah, I can excel. I can play really well. If you put me on a field with 21 other guys who have played football at high level and fast paced and high intensity, I will find it extremely difficult to keep up, if even keep up, you know? My touch will not be good, my this and that, you know? Point is, you really have to be vetted into it from such a young age, and if you're not, it's
not impossible, but it just gets a little bit harder.
Exactly.
It gets that much harder.
Exactly.
And I think, it was something, you know how it's like that, the social circle, our social circles have that stigma of football or sports or whatever is kind of a dream, and you have to kind of beat it mentally out of the kid before they grow up and they start to realize that, okay, life has serious quote unquote serious professions, quote unquote things you have to do to get bread or get to live, you know what I mean? So I think that process happened very quickly with me. Football, whatever, basketball, I'm not whatever, I'm not doing that anymore. Fine. With
you know when I decided, okay, I'm not gonna be a footballer?
When?
Second year of uni.
100%.
No, first year.
Did you come in thinking I might get scouted?
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. Because I came to this country and I came to try out for the Waterloo varsity football team. Bear in mind, wallah, I'm actually good. I'm not just talking shit.
I'll vouch.
I was the captain of my high school, in our last year of school. I was decent. But anyways, we get to the tryouts. 60 people show up. Out of the 60 people, how many people made it?
How many?
None.
None?
Not one. Why? Because everybody that makes it into varsity football in Waterloo gets scouted from colleges in high school. It's extremely rare, and you have to be extremely good to make it to practice with the Waterloo team. Not even to make it into the
That's
team.
like red shirting.
I don't know what that is.
I think it's a basketball term to be like, oh, you just practice with the team, but you don't play. You're just
Yeah,
there to
exactly. And
practice.
once you start showing up at practice and being good and whatever, then you get a spot on the bench and then when you on the team and whatever. You know, point is like, I've played with the varsity football guys like in first year of uni. Like I used to play football every day like recreationally, and they would show up sometimes. I can swear to you that I'm better than a lot of them. I can swear to you that I am, and it's just like, I'm not getting on that team unless I went to high school there and I went to a football academy there. Like all of them, every single one of them, I asked them, how'd you get on the team? They're like, oh yeah, I played for XYZ Academy, and I emailed the coach when I was in high school telling him I wanted to come to Waterloo and sent him my tape, and then he was like, okay, come, and what, you know, like, I didn't go to an academy. I have no tape to show. Who's recording me playing football in Sharjah, right?
Yeah.
Like, you need to have those connections. You need to be like at a certain in the right place at the right time, you know.
Networking is so important.
It's a really big deal, and that's something that I realized. I'll give you a really really good example of why. So I post a lot of boxing videos on my Instagram.
Okay.
And like the average person will look at my boxing videos and be like, oh yeah, this guy thinks he's sick, so he's posting this on his Instagram. But in reality, I get messages from person this and person that saying, yo, come train with us, come spar with us, come to my gym.
People who understand that profession, they can kind of tell off your technique if you post your
Exactly.
video, if you're good or not.
And then on the other hand, I have people messaging me saying, yo, do you train me? How much do you charge? I don't coach people, but I started coaching people because I put stuff on my Instagram and people ask me to coach them. And now I'm trying to transition into the fact where I start coaching for money.
Be careful, you might need a certification for that.
I'm looking to get a certification. But yeah, like point being, like that's like where networking comes into play. While you look at, not you, but like the general you will look at my Instagram story and be like, oh, this guy's just posting another video of him hitting the bag. I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it so that this person and that person can look at it and be like, okay, come train with us. I start training with better people. Then I spar with this person. Then I get a fight. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's how I joined the gym that I'm at. I started training with this guy who messaged me after he saw my story. He said, yo, let's come train together. He told me about this gym. I joined that gym. And now I'm on course to getting my first fight, right? So networking is a really, really, really important thing.
So if you saw from the previous episode with Ben and Josh, you'll know that Hussein, like for him, he after football he kind of transitioned more into boxing. He didn't drop football by any means, but he also like started taking boxing as the more serious sport.
End of the day, call it serious, call it not serious. It's not. It's the reason I would say it's not serious is because I'm not looking to become a professional.
You never pursued that for one reason or another.
I will never pursue it because I personally think if I were to throw everything into becoming a professional boxer, it can happen, but I can't do it. You know, boxing is not good for the head. You know, I want to have a family. I have parents who care about me. A brother who I think maybe cares about me. I don't wanna put myself in a position where I get viciously knocked out and then I lose half of my brain or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like diseases associated with. But we're not saying boxing is bad. It's just the decision that you took.
Exactly. So my plan with boxing is to have 4 or 5 amateur fights and then just call it a day. You know, and
fair
then maybe box recreationally. You know, but that now puts me in a position where I have a bit of a chip on my shoulder, and I wanna be able to give the resources that I never got, and I want to be able to provide in a way that I unfortunately wasn't I want to give what I couldn't have, right? And I couldn't get the backing that I needed and the resources that I needed to pursue a sports career. At the end of the day, I'm an athlete and that's all I am and that's all I will be. I'm not book smart. Don't
label yourself.
No, listen.
There's certain things.
There's certain things I can do and I can do job XYZ well, but I'm not a pencil pusher. Okay. I will never be a pencil pusher. I will never work in an office and do accounting for 8 hours a day for 6 years. I can't. No. Right? This is not me.
I'm the same. I can't do. You said accounting. I can't do. It all depends on I think you found a nice thing with speech communication.
Regardless, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I felt like for about a year or two that because the ship has sailed on being a pro athlete, that's it for me. My career is done. Whatever I be, I'm gonna not make a lot of money. I'm not gonna be happy with whatever career I have. And that's where you kind of realize that God has a plan for everyone. Because I've recently started to look at it this way. I was not a pro athlete. That doesn't mean my son or daughter are not going to be pro athletes.
Don't
If
force
they
your
want
dream
to
on
be,
them, though.
if they want to be pro athletes, or if not my son and daughter, someone else's son or daughter. Like I said, I wanted to open like when I'm older and have like the funding, I want to open my own academy, whether it's a boxing academy or a football academy.
You see, what's his face? LeVar Ball. LeVar Ball never got to be a pro athlete, but he facilitated that. Oh, if his kids wanted to be pro athletes,
Now, two of his three sons are in the NBA,
and the third one is on a G League team, right? Like, you can, if just because you couldn't do it, you can create, whether it's your kids or somebody else's kids. Your dream now is to create something.
Exactly.
So let's segue with that, because we wanted to also talk about something that's really important when it comes to choosing your career, setting yourself on the right career path. We talked about kind of social like stigmas and stuff to where certain pressures might stop you from pursuing something. But what about like positive or negative? Yeah, but mainly like we want to focus on the positive role models.
I'll give you an example
that you can highlight
this weekend. So there's this fighter. He's called Conor Ben. He's like an up and coming fighter, and he's very like his coach. I think it's his coach. I don't know. I think his coach is his dad. His dad's the ex-fighter as well. But like, there was this clip that I saw of his dad in his corner. He had a fight this weekend. His dad was in the corner and just shouting tips at him, whatever. And he knocked his opponent out. And then when the guy felt like his dad was like screaming, jumping, celebrating up and down, and then like when the fight got called, like, okay, end of fight, whatever, he jumps in the ring and they celebrate together and all of that. And I just look at that and I'm like, if I can have a moment like this with one of my children or with somebody that views me as a father figure or whatever.
Role model.
Then everything that I missed out on was worth it,
Yeah, like you can easily facilitate it for somebody else.
Exactly.
I think that it's really important, like when you come to shape what you want to do, shaping your personality, but also choosing your career path, it's really important to have the right role models around you, the right elders around you, because then you need to have that guidance, because without that guidance, with poor guidance, you'll never reach your aspiration. But even with like, so you have to choose who to put around you, or some people may have access to better role models so they can better pursue their career path. Some people not so much, right? You have an example of a really good role model, Coach Frank, right? He helped you with... Shout out Coach Frank. Is Coach Frank going to watch these things?
Probably not.
Shout out Coach Frank if he sees them. But yeah, so he was really like good for you because he helped you as much as you were never, by that point, you weren't going to take boxing professionally, but he helped you level up.
Here's the thing. People don't realize what they've done for someone. Like okay, so my boxing coach, Coach Frank from back home, we weren't like I don't think he knew what he did for me until I told him months later, like how much I appreciate what he did for me. But he was like, so I got offered a fight in December of last year. And then before I got injured, we were training together, and he was like, Stan, if I train you for this fight, like there's no way you lose. Like I'm gonna put in everything I can, and you're gonna put in everything you can, and we're gonna come out on top. And he really stuck to that. He made me do the kilometers. He made me send him screenshots that I was running.
Yeah, check back episode 1. You described that whole process.
Exactly. Yeah. Trained me for free at my house. Who does that? And in the meantime, his wife was having a child. Like who does that?
Shout out Coach Frank.
And I don't like. And the thing is, I feel like he did it so like normally. Like he didn't even realize that he's doing me a huge favor, and he didn't realize that he's being a huge role model to me, right? But it's just like now I carry that with me everywhere. Now I look at my coaches here and I'm like, yo, like, you're a good coach, but you're not Coach Frank. You know what I mean? Like, like he set that bar, and like, obviously, I would love to be in like a position where I'm training a younger figure as well. Mm-hmm. And if I'm anything like if I can provide that kind of experience that was given to me to anyone, I'm really happy with myself.
Okay.
It's just, and it's so easy. And you don't even have to he probably still doesn't realize how much.
Especially because he came from a position of knowledge and you came from a position of ignorance. Or like, let's say, Yeah. So him giving you the knowledge is giving you something that he already has. the training wise. He already does it for a job. He already has that level of understanding how to train, whatever. So he's just giving that to you. You're receiving it. So for you, it's like accumulating new experiences, new information, new technique, everything. So it's big deal for you, whereas he's not gaining as much as you are. You know. So that's.
Exactly.
But like, if you're like an older person, if you're somebody who you know like has a power to influence someone to do something, like you need to pay attention, because what you say, what you tell that person, what you end up discussing with them, how you talk to them, how you teach them, that imprints so much, right? Coach Frank was super positive.
There is another experience that may have not been as positive, and just like I said, this person probably, I don't know if you're gonna name drop this person, but he probably
Actually, I have no idea who you're talking about.
your
Let me get
he
into
probably
that. I'll
also
name
doesn't
him.
realize
I'll name. No,
how
he
much he
realized.
negatively
No, he
impacted
realized.
you.
He realized. I'll name him, Mr. from that guy. He told me don't apply to University of Toronto. It's a waste of your time.
Did you get accepted?
I never applied. Right? Like, do you understand? Like this guy.
You never applied to UFT?
I never applied.
No way.
Oh well, later on, it's because I never had like they didn't have everything.
Because they did urban.
They
design.
didn't have a
Yeah,
urban planning program, right? So
True.
like I was so basically in so we did British system A levels, so you had year 12 and year 13, so that's like grade 11, grade 12, right? So it's kind of weird, I know, but bear with me. In year 12, there was an option for me to do just year 12 and go straight to uni. I didn't have to finish year 13 if I didn't want to. So I was trying to do that. Okay, who wants to spend one more year in school, especially in UAE? Like, school's expensive.
Did you get the grades to do that?
Honestly, I could
Did you
have.
have a D in chemistry? You had a D in chemistry.
You only needed three ASs.
Oh,
to
you
get
did
into
4.
some-
What did you get in your other 3?
I could have gotten like B's and stuff.
You could have, but did you?
Because I never took those ASs, because I only took one.
Oh, you never took them?
Yeah, because I only ended up taking one AS
Oh, and then
because
you dropped chemistry after.
no, I actually took my math AS and I got a B in my math AS.
Okay, never
But
mind.
physics and stuff, physics and history, I took 4 subjects: physics, history, math, and chemistry. Chemistry, I took it and got a D, but physics, and that's also to do with like I didn't connect with my teacher and stuff, and it was kind of a horrible experience like that. But physics, I was on a B, like B, C type of area. And history, I was going for an A. And in math, I did my AS and I got a B, right? Because math hadn't switched to the new system back then. It was like changed. They were in the middle of a transition. But basically, I go to him and I'm like, so I don't know what this guy's beef with me was, but personally, like I just felt like
you're Arab.
No, I don't want to put that on him, because like I don't.
No, I'm joking.
I don't throw those lightly. You know what I mean? But I don't know what his beef with me was, but basically he didn't used to help me as much as he helped the others. I think, okay, maybe there was some situations here and there where I could have conducted myself better, but it's not to say like anyone else didn't have those situations. We were kids, like we were high school kids. You know what I mean? Like we're idiots at that stage in our lives.
I don't think you even said what. Oh, Mister. Okay, never mind. Yeah, he's a teacher in our school.
Teacher in our school. Yeah. I don't
know
even
you
remember.
did say. No, I'm tripping.
Yeah.
My bad.
So I remember like in year 12, I was literally like trying to chase him down. Oh, what do I need to apply? What do I need to whatever? And in year 12, like I was also kind of rushing it because I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I also wanted to finish school early and go to uni. So I just like I wanted to find my way kind of, and I just needed that guidance, and I just didn't know. I didn't know how to navigate that time period in my life. So when I go to him, when I ask him for advice, when I tell him, what should I do, this and that, he used to give me very little attention. He used to give me, whatever. He used to like I was thinking of doing architecture, but I didn't know how to sketch. But I was passionate about built design, like the built environment and stuff. That's why I ended up in planning. But I wanted to do architecture. I didn't know how to sketch. I didn't know how to draw. I didn't know the basics. I didn't take design technology class in school. Like it was very, very like a big fumble, right? So he just didn't warn me that, oh, don't pursue this because you don't have the necessary tools, because he himself is a design technology teacher. He has a background in architecture, right? So like you could have warned me that, oh, you just need, this is the skills XYZ that you need to develop, or you need to like maybe focus on urban. You could have showed me urban planning earlier. It's like, okay, you're passionate about built form. You knew me, like he knew who I was, right? So going from there, and then you kind of just give me like whatever treatment, tell me it's a waste of my time applying to certain universities. You know, like I was lost. You were telling me you're not doing the right thing, but I didn't know what the right thing was, and you were not inclined to show me. Come year 13 now, okay, I took an extra year in school. I've decided what I want to do. I want to go to urban planning. I have my mock grades. I got my mock grades from my teachers and stuff. Mock grades is basically like your predicted grade that you use to apply to university. So university says, oh, school signs off that you've been predicted X, Y, Z. So that's what they base their conditional offers on, right? So you get into uni as long as you match your predicted grades, basically, right? So what's crazy is like I went and I would chase him down. He makes time to go see the other students and he sits with them and he like talks to them and stuff and like, yeah, this is what I think you should apply to. Oh, do your personal statement like this. Oh, this and that. I have to camp outside his class just to get him to talk to me. Is this personal statement good? And then he checks it. Or I have to find him, chase him down, run around, look for him. You know, half the time he doesn't like discuss with me properly. I made it to University of Waterloo, which is where I study now, in spite of his guidance and not because of it. And I'm not, again, okay, so maybe I'm a little bit salty. Maybe I have a little bit of a grudge inside, but I can't help it. Like, it was such a, I try to deal with it. I try to, like, forget, right? You know, and not forget, but forgive, kind of. But it was, like, a pivotal moment in my life where I was, like, the most lost directionally in my life. I didn't know what I wanted to do and stuff. And I had that person in your school that's supposed to be your guide didn't want to guide you. Guide everybody else, but it won't guide me, you know? I relied on other teachers. There was a lot of other good teachers. Shout out Mr. Richards, math teacher. He helped me a lot, so much. This is what I needed. Like, he sat with me and planned things with me. Come, let's meet. He took his lunch times, God bless him, and he said, Zaid, let's sit. Let's talk.
I had one of those too.
You know, like, let's sit. Let's talk about your, you know what I mean? Your applications. Where do you want to apply? He even helped me plan my study schedule for my exams, right? Like, he sat with me, he said, okay, let's divide your time and let's figure out how you can study to best, like, you know, do the best in your exams. So having that, you know, like, I just, thank God that I had the ability to zone in, okay, I want urban planning, apply to Waterloo, apply to Ryerson, apply to a bunch of other universities. And then from there, decide like, okay, I'm going to check my offers and accept whichever based on me. I was running independently because thank God, I've just found my degree and I just ran independently. I wasn't relying on him anymore. But there was other students that relied on him and like mixed results. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. For me, that's like a thing where it showed me the importance. It's such an important thing to have a good role model because they'll change your experience in that exploratory phase. They'll change your whole experience, right? When it comes to how you can navigate that time.
I just think it's really like when you're in a position where you are a role model for someone, you should never ever take that lightly, because you never know how much you're really affecting someone's life. And if you slack, if you hold a personal grudge, if you do anything short of exemplary, you could very well be ruining someone's chance at this or that, or ruining
you can make or break
life,
people.
You know, like, you don't realize how influential you are when somebody's coming to you and asking you for guidance. And
no, leave that. It's your job. Some that teachers and stuff. It's like it's your job.
No, forget about money. Let's talk ethics. You don't realize how much is in your hands when somebody's coming to you and telling you, teach me, tell me, guide me, advise me. So when you're in that position, you better be ready, equipped, and willing to help.
The attitude is so important.
Yeah, it's all about your approach is extremely important. You're like, let's say for example, like and you, he's not better than you because he knows more, but he treated you like he's better than you, right? What gives him that right? And because of that, you had that whole like phase of being lost, and like, alhamdulillah, thank God you went through it.
No, like,
you know.
Okay, so let's stop that like for a second. Like, okay, we've stressed that there's good and bad role models and stuff, but now instead of just beating the dead horse and being like, oh, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Okay, people who find themselves in a position where they have negative role models, I just want to give this piece of advice is that like you have to filter people's opinions. It's an exploratory phase, so it's really hard for you to navigate. But I think something that really helped me was whatever said in one ear out the other. At that point, like I didn't care. You know, I just had him check the grammar on my personal statement. Oh, is this good? Oh, is this okay? How is can you just get my predicted grades for me? Can you get this for me? Can you draft up my unofficial transcript? Like, I was chasing him for these things. I wasn't chasing him for his advice, his guidance anymore. And like, sometimes you just have to do that. Sometimes you just have to switch off and be like, okay, or whoever didn't help me. But now I'm gonna go talk to my parents maybe, or there's another teacher, Mr. Richards, that was the other math teacher that was helping me and stuff. I'll talk to him, or I'll talk to my a relative that kind of knows the field. I went to my father's work. My father works in the field. He's not an urban planner, but he works like in the architecture field and stuff. I went to his office and I asked people there, like, it's a disadvantage that you get put at, sure, but you have to then be resourceful and take advantage of other areas. And through that, slowly, like I narrowed down my degree and I applied, I sent off my applications, and I went where I wanted to go, right? Like, so thankfully, things worked out in the end. But I just, like, I've seen it so many times, so many examples of people who they're like, they don't know better to find, because you're not supposed to know better at that age. You know, like, it's an explore. It's hard enough for you to already explore those themes and explore where you're gonna go, what you want to be, what you want to do. It's hard enough. Then you have to also fight against the negative role models that might come to you, or the social pressures that you might face, right? So just be resourceful. All I'm saying, like, if you're a role model, be a good role model, and if you don't have a good role model, be resourceful. Find a good role model. Look anywhere you can go. Literally, I've seen so many like examples of people who make connections for that purpose. People who are like, let me email this, let me just walk into this design company, right? If you want to be a designer, and ask them. People who have maybe if there's like 10 planners in that design company, one of them is going to take the time and sit and talk to you, right? And tell you, like, not to necessarily take pity on your situation, but be understanding of your circumstance. That, oh, so just be resourceful, you know, like, be willing to go out of your comfort zone a little bit and just explore and say, okay, this is all for the greater good of my career, so that's what I'm going to do it for.
But you know what? It's really, it's honestly a blessing that you've, like, first of all, pushed through that. Secondly, found your calling. You feel comfortable in where you are. And that's like, end of the day, that's why I can never be mad at something bad that's happened, right? Because end of the day, okay, you had that negative experience, but look where you are now. Would you have been as successful in your university life so far if you didn't have that chip on your shoulder?
Of course not. And we talked about it in Bilal's episode. Growth only comes from pain, right? So you have to go through that pain, and it's not always clear. Sometimes you just have to have blind faith in God, right? Sometimes you just have to trust, like, I can't see the outcome, but God can see it in front of me, so I'm just there doing what I can control. And that's what it comes to, like, just be resourceful, do what you can. And sometimes, you know, like the academic year, university deadlines, applications, if you're following that route, they put pressure on you to, you know, get your applications in by a certain date or get accepted by a certain time or whatever. Don't put that time pressure on yourself. If I'm a firm believer, even though it's against like our social norms, take a gap year if you need it. You think people don't waste 1 year of their life doing a job that they don't like before they move, or like your 1 year of your life can get wasted anywhere. 100%. So why is there such a stigma of like wasting it? It's not okay. So first of all, wrong word. It's not wasting, of taking a time, right? People take sabbaticals. People take time off. People spend time in places till they find out that they were in the wrong place, and then they have to revert back. Like, things change all the time. So what if you take a gap year just to try to figure out who you are and what you are? You know what I mean? Like, I'm a firm believer in that, like taking time and figuring out.
Do you think I should have taken a gap year?
Honestly, no.
I don't think so either.
Honestly, no. Because
I think if I took a gap year, I would have still made the same mistake of choosing planning, and then I would have still had to switch into something else a year and a half later.
I think with you, it was a different thing. With you, correct me if I'm wrong, I could be wrong, but you were not as resourceful as you could have been in your search for, like, what I wanted to do. Because you were so fixated. No, because let me pitch this to you. And I might be wrong. So if you think no, like, yeah, I'm wrong. But I think you were fixated, from my perspective. It looked like you were so fixated on, I want to do sports. Like you said, you only realized after first year that this is gone, right? I want to do sports, and I'll figure that out. That, like, oh, fuck it. It doesn't matter what degree I'm in. I don't care, because my goal is sports.
The mistake I made is, and I don't blame anyone for this but myself, but I took too much advice.
Explain.
And, okay, so here's the thing. And this is actually pretty funny, because when I would like talk to I'm not gonna name any names, but when I would talk to person X, let's say person X, person Y, I talk to person Y about like, oh, I've decided I want to do this and that. Person Y will tell me, oh, it's because you've been listening to person X, and person X has been like corrupting your mind with this information. But in reality, I went to person X and I said, person X, what should I do? Tell me. I know nothing. I want to know. I want your advice. Whatever your advice is, I'll take it. While I will never blame person X for giving me the advice, because at the end of the day, I went to person X and I said, tell me. So how can I blame you for telling me, right? Mm-hmm. But I didn't trust myself enough to do my own thing, and then I instead took person X's advice. And there's like 7 different person X's. It's not like I'm not saying it's one person, but like I'll tell you, like I got told, for example, like maybe it's best not to do a business degree in undergrad because you can do a business degree postgrad regardless of what you do in undergrad. So like, okay, you know what? That takes business out the table. I'm very business minded. You know, it's about the one academic that I'm not terrible at.
I think you have a big entrepreneurial mindset, big business mindset.
Yeah,
Like
I would
in
say
the real
so.
world, I think you outside of this academic bubble, you'll find your way. Like
Inshallah.
100%, inshallah.
Inshallah. But like, yeah, so like I kind of took that like out of the running. Like I'm not gonna do business because I'll just do a postgrad. Like I took that too much to heart, and I took that
Take a second.
I took that too much to heart, and then I just ended up looking around like, okay.
He's here. Yeah, he's here.
I ended up just looking around blindly for what should I do, and I just decided I'm gonna do planning instead. I know nothing about planning. 3 semesters in, I still don't know nothing about planning. I failed I'll say this openly, I'm not ashamed. I failed every semester in planning. All 3 of them. I did 3, failed the first, failed the second, failed the third. I studied. Maybe not as much as I should have, but I studied. But how can, okay, here's the thing.
Look. Okay, I'm gonna disagree like crazy here.
What?
Because like any other student that comes to a different country, you came to this country and you had to go through your struggles, and you frequently missed deadlines for assignments. You didn't do assignments. You didn't do quizzes.
Take first semester out of that. First semester, I didn't study. I didn't want to study. I went to like 3 lectures in the whole semester. Agreed. Second and third semester. Second semester, by the way, I was getting 70s and 80s until the school shut down because of COVID. When everything went online, I failed the semester. When I say I failed the semester, I mean I got below a 70% average.
75.
75. You know how high that is? You have to get a 75% average to proceed to the next semester.
Mm-hmm.
Screw that. So anyways, I didn't hold the 75 average for either of the semesters. And of course I didn't study as much as I should have. But like, look at me now. I'm in my arts and business degree.
And like, can I like say, as soon as he switched into arts and business, his average went up. Because
I started going to my lectures. I barely ever miss deadlines. And if I miss deadlines, I like beat myself up about it because I enjoy what I'm studying. You know, it makes sense to me. I couldn't care less about urban planning. I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
It's okay, it's not for everybody.
I don't care. Wow, that's a city. That building wasn't that. Who cares?
I care.
Ooh, city, town. Sewage, bus
You
stops.
literally shape how people live.
Stop signs. You put stop signs on streets. How is that interesting? How? Tell me. How do you expect me to hold
Look at the spikes on the audio. The audio just jumped. I'm sorry to the audio listeners who are just hearing this. I apologize. I'm going to edit the hell out of that to make it not spike.
How do you hold a 75% average in knowing where to put stop signs and sewage signs and parking
Do you see
meters
the way they sully the degree, like urban planning profession? You know, it's a
I'll tell you
beautiful
something. And this is impressive in theory, but so Zaid worked for a company called Mapdin. Mapdin.
Don't give away too much.
Yeah, okay. But Mapdin has like little.
Shout out Mapdin.
Like not little. They had big tablets on the grounds of our university of maps. Like you know when you're in a mall and it shows like you are here. How do you want to get to this place? You tap on the place. It shows you how to get to that. Like the company that he worked for did that for our university. And in theory, that's really impressive. Do I care? No. Because okay, you are like to do it. You have to be really good at what you're doing. Right? But it's a map.
I don't know. Like for me, it's different. So you looked at it like that.
Yeah.
I have a different approach. Even though that's not 100% like urban planning.
Well, for you, it's like, it's a map. It's a map. Stop signs, yeah.
I think you need to go and have a timeout. I think you just need to sit in the corner for a second and calm down because you're a bit, anyway. No, like, you thought, it's just a map. That's how you think of it. I think of it like, I'm literally showing everybody in the mall how to reach where they reach. I'm literally preventing so many people from running around in circles and circles, not finding what they think. I made their lives easier because of my thing. Now their lives were made easier. That's the idea. Even though that's not planning, but that's the idea with planning in general. Like my effort can make someone's life easier,
I love that you look at it that way.
right? If the way you shape a city, the way you design a place, a public place, the way you shape streets, the way you design public transit.
I figured it out.
What?
You are indirectly making people's lives easier, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing. Indirectly, for me, is not something that I want to directly change someone's life.
Yeah, but okay, think of it like this. If there's a bus, so imagine like you could either live in an unplanned place, like let's say transportation planning, for example. You could live in an unplanned place where there's no bus routes that correlate to where you need to go and where people are going and coming from, versus let's say you live in a well-planned place and there's a bus that can take you directly from your street to the university or to your workplace.
To be honest,
That's like a change directly. Now your day is so much easier. How much time in commuting have you saved?
let's go all the way back. If there's like one thing I would do different, it's nothing. But if there's one thing that I would like to be different, it's the atmosphere and environment around me. And I'm not talking about my direct environment.
It's just generally, because
I'm talking about our
you know how they make those jokes, like whether it's Arab parents or like South Asian parents or like East Asian, like parents who come from cultured backgrounds, they make jokes that these parents, you either choose lawyer, doctor, engineer, or that's it. They make like basically in a lot of our backgrounds, you get looked down upon for not pursuing one of the quote unquote standard forms of career, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't end up being in a career that even like it stretches, it's like so crazy that it even stretches to like, let's say journalism. Journalism is a respected field, right? Like you could be a journalist and you could make a living and all that stuff if you're
Shout out
passionate.
Josh.
Shout out Josh. Again with the gun sign, you shout out. That doesn't make sense. Why are you putting a gun sign? Who are you shooting?
The out.
It's a shout out, not a shootout.
That's what you think.
And I make lame jokes. Okay, we're gonna forget about that, but thank you. Thank you. I'm not the only one with a lame joke on this podcast anymore.
By the way, have you seen this?
There's microphones.
Continue. There's nothing's gonna go. Continue.
There's microphones. But yeah, so yeah, basically like if you don't like, you could be in like a field like journalism. You could, be in a respected field like journalism and stuff, and it's fine. It's a respected field. You can make money, but you'll never be able to. Like you're not gonna be the same status. Like, oh, my son's an engineer, versus like, oh, your son's a journalist. Like they will look down, and it's that like why I say your son or your daughter or whatever, because that's how it is. Because families talk, and if your family your family has to seem good in front of that family. So look what your kids have done. Look what my kids have done. Look what we've. You know what I mean?
Like if let's say I became a football player. Let's go back into my fantasy world, and I became a football player. I don't think certain people in our close circles would have been happy with that and would have been like, oh, you wasted your life. You could have been a doctor.
Yeah, 100%.
Man, sorry. Like, spend 10 years studying to do an exam so that I can be a doctor, like, or chase my dreams. Like, if I don't care about being a doctor, why am I going to be a doctor? But no, you grow up, you have to be a doctor, or you have to be an engineer, or you have to be like this or that. Like there's like there's an A-list of high esteemed professions, and if you don't do anything on that list, you're a disappointment. And I'm not. And by the way, I'm not gonna say that.
Not necessarily a disappointment, but you're not looked at the same.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, I think we have a slightly, what's the opposite of traditional? Unorthodox.
Modern.
I
don't know. That's not the right word, but yeah.
Our family's a little more modern.
I don't think we faced those pressures immediately from our parents and stuff, right?
At all.
I remember where
you know when I switched out of planning and into arts and business and speech communication.
Yeah.
Mama and Baba were like really happy and proud of me. Whereas I kind of had that little fear of like, okay, if I switch out, like, are they gonna be mad at me for like doing something that's like less prestigious? But no, they were so like supportive and proud and happy, and they're like, oh, we're so glad you're finally doing something that you enjoy and what. And I was just like this is the kind of support that everyone needs, And if more people had that kind of support, then more people would be able to pursue their dreams. And honestly, now that I'm where I am, I feel like I didn't miss out on a dream.
You're living in where you're supposed to live.
I'm living where I'm supposed to live, and I'm now on the path to achieve my dream. And now I realize that my dream wasn't supposed to happen 2 years ago. It's supposed to happen in 5-10 years, And that's why I'm really thankful. And if I just feel like if everyone had that environment, like I know a lot of families that are like a lot of my friends in engineering or medical school, and I'm like, why are you in engineering medical? Like, do you love it? Like, no. Baba said do it. Mama said do it.
Or is the other thing the misconception of where else am I gonna make money? Money comes if you're the number one at what you do in any profession. Money will come.
And here's the thing: if you chase money in life, you're never gonna be satisfied.
You chase
you
happiness,
can make
chase
10 million.
stability, chase happiness, chase stability, and chase your passion.
You can make 10 million. You're not happy. You want 10 more.
Mm-hmm.
You make 20. You want 40. You make 40. You want 80. You're never gonna be happy if you're chasing money.
All
and that's the life that we're living now. Is that everyone chases money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone chases money. I couldn't care less if I'm rich or poor.
No, it's a corrupted thing where we're connoting like happiness with material objects.
Yeah.
Right, and that's the screwed up thing because now we're like
you see it a lot in like celebrities, pop culture.
That's
music,
what promotes it.
Yeah.
You know, that's what really promotes that type of living. But essentially, like, just so that we don't get like digress too far out, we just want to say like that in a lot of circumstances, the social pressure does exist to push people towards certain careers and away from certain ones, right? So more times, and this is where we come back to our cousin Hussein, right? You have to sometimes just put everybody on mute and be like, I don't care. This is what I know I want to do. And you can listen to people, tell people like, okay, this is what I want to do. How can I reach there? But don't like compromise on your passion in a way, right? Like, if your passion is in some capacity, it can make you money, make that plan A. For me, I like to have plan B, C, whatever, but maybe for you it's different, right? But make that plan A for me. I would say like, if you decided, okay, I want to be, I don't know, an entrepreneur. I already know from high school I want to start my business. Okay, I might go take a degree in something in college, but I'm already taking the steps to start my business. I'm not listening to people who are telling me don't waste time and focus on your studies and that business is a stupid dream. No, I'm going. If I want to be a boxer or an athlete, that's plan A. Then maybe I go to uni or college depending on opportunity and try to get the degree while I pursue this dream. Or maybe, like, you know what I mean? Like, make plan A your passion, then figure the rest out.
Another shout out.
Okay.
Shout out Ben.
Boxer Ben.
After the last
Champion
podcast.
Ben.
After the last
2-0
Okay,
Ben.
man. After the last podcast, we spoke to him. He was about to have his first fight. Now he's had his second fight. He's made the official decision.
Two dubs.
He's made the official decision to leave university.
Oh, I didn't know about
He's
this.
gone. He's dropped out of uni. And I couldn't be prouder of him. He wants to pursue a career in fighting. He's going to go to Thailand for 3 months to do training camps there. That's where people go to get better at fighting. He's go he did his 2 fights. He got his 2 wins. Now he's going to Thailand. He's gonna pursue it as a real career. And actually, one time I was playing PlayStation with him. And when you play PlayStation with someone, like, you're also talking to him, and he gets a phone call from one of his friends who had like just found out that he's dropping out of uni. And this friend is like, "Why are you dropping out? You're gonna amount to nothing. You're gonna be a garbage man. Don't do this. This stupid idea. Don't do it." And he was like, "Okay, thank you for your opinion. I respect it. I'm gonna do what I want to do anyway." Shuts the phone, continues doing what he wants to do. You know, I respect that so much.
No, for
To
sure.
have that bravery of just saying, you know what, this is my dream. I'm doing my dream, and like, I don't care what happens around me. You know.
Yeah, like as long as he's set and he knows, understands the consequences, and he understands, like, you know, okay, if this doesn't work, I'm thinking I already have plan B and C in the back, right? Like, again, that's my type of thinking. But more power to him. He already won 2 fights. I've seen him fight, like, in the streams and stuff. He's good, right? So I don't know much about fighting, so I don't want to give him too much praise that I don't know about. But he looks
garbage. He's good. He's good. I'd knock
Right.
him out. He's good. He's good. Good.
right. So congrats to Ben. But yeah, like, what we're saying is, like, pursue your passion. Sometimes you have to turn a blind eye to social stigma. Find good role models, right?
So normally at the end of, obviously because we're nearing the end of the podcast, at the end of the podcast when we have a guest, we always ask them to give their advice to the young nation.
That's what I started doing.
Yeah, we're introducing it as the advice.
Okay, fine. The advice. As if we
So-
haven't been giving advice this whole time.
So, just let me do my thing, please.
Okay, continue.
So as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted.
Okay.
Zaid, if you had one piece of advice to give to the young nation, what would it be?
For me, the one that resonates with me is the role model thing. Find a good role model, and if you can't, keep searching. like search, expand your circles and find the good role model, whether it's in your family, whether it's in your school, whether it's in your life, neighborhood, whether it's you have to go and find them yourself and start messaging and reaching out to people till you find the right person. Find a good role model so that he or she can, give you the assistance that you need to grow and chase your dream. That's the number one thing for me. How about you? What's your number one thing?
My advice would be is search deep within yourself. Don't be scared. Search deep within yourself to find out who you really are, who you really want to be, what your real passion is. Find that. Some people are me, for example. I didn't want to chase my dreams. I wanted to do what everyone else told me to do. And I'll never fault people for telling me what to do because I was the one who came and asked for advice and asked for help. But I was too scared to do what I wanted to do, right? Never doubt yourself. Mm-hmm. Nobody knows you better than you know yourself.
Tell them.
Except maybe your parents.
Yeah, listen to your, like, if your parents have productive opinions, and our parents certainly did, right? So keep that in mind too. If you're gonna like shape up how you're gonna move, like your parents' perspective, your parents love you, they might have something to say, but it's not might not always be the case.
If your parents don't have supportive opinions, rebel against them.
Relax.
No, I'm joking.
Like just keep searching. If it's not your parents, search for the right role model, and you'll find. Like, I don't know. I ended up finding a good role model for me. I've seen cases more extreme than mine, and they find good role models. So I would say that. Mm-hmm. But yeah. So
with that being said,
thank you for watching Through Deep Waters, the Young Nations podcast. Tune in. We're out on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music.
I know you saw that. You saw that.
What?
If you didn't see it, just rewind and watch that.
What did I do?
I was just about to start speaking.
My bad. I just started speaking. Okay, continue.
No. You already interrupted me.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So thank you for listening Through Deep Waters, Young Nations podcast. We appreciate you all. Find us on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music. Shout out to friends, family.
Shout out Khadija.
Yeah, shout out Khadija, our family friend Khadija. Je parle en français, Khadija.
Oui.
Shout out to Mr. Richards. He's never going to see this, but my math teacher, Mr. Richards.
Mr. Richards.
Right? Shout out to him. And shout out to everybody who has had a positive influence on me and helped me get to where I am. Anybody, how about you?
Shout out Hussein.
Shout out, yeah,
Hussein. I'm talking about myself.
Oh.
But shout out Hussein, our cousin as well.
Hussein Al-Ghali.
Shout out this podcast. I don't think I know how to shout things out, huh?
Is it who you like? I don't know what like related.
Not a very good out shouter.
Anyways,
with that being said, thank you for tuning into the Young Nations podcast Through Deep Waters, and we hope that you have a very good day.
Post for the thumbnail. Okay.
And have a great night or day or morning or evening or afternoon, whatever it may be that you're experiencing at the current moment of time. And I hope that you can finally enjoy your day or afternoon or evening or night or midnight and sleep well if you're sleeping and wake up well if you're waking up, and have a good day or evening or midnight.
Your nose.
Midnight. Thank you.
Okay, I think you're waiting for me to interrupt you. I was not going to interrupt you. I was going to let you keep going. But
See how long it is. Okay, end the podcast. It's
okay,
over.
All right. Cut. We're out. We're done.